For prominent Sydney barrister Margaret Cunneen, who represented the acclaimed street artist Anthony Lister, it was a moment of profound relief and vindication.
Not guilty, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. And so it went on for a long time.
In an exclusive interview with news.com.au, Ms Cunneen revealed the speed of the jury's decision and offered a scathing critique of the police investigation, the media's approach and a prevailing narrative in sexual assault cases.
I've never seen a jury come back so quickly in 40 years of being in criminal trials, majority for the prosecution and 7 years now for the defence. The jury came back in a minute. They were in very high spirits and they couldn't wait to give the verdicts not guilty, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. And so it went on for a long time and the jury were smiling at Anthony. They were enthusiastic and obviously wished him well.
Anthony's meticulous record keeping was key in a defence breakthrough, painting a very different picture to the initial fact sheet given by police.
Anthony had not thrown away anything from his life. And had he been a person who clears out or deletes things from his messages or photographs, he would not have been able to establish that he was not guilty of any of these offences. But because of his own records, he was able to show the court that these allegations were simply untrue from the start. I met Anthony on the 6th of June 2024 when he came to me to ask me to represent him. He brought with him what the police call the facts sheet, and it looked extremely damning. But as I got much more into the evidence, most of it was very overstated.
The defence was able to provide evidence that directly contradicted accounts of complainants. Such evidence included forgotten or deleted messages and recordings of events that revealed instances of enthusiastic consent.
In virtually every case, each complainant had forgotten about the existence of videos showing a level, at least, sometimes a great level of enthusiastic consent. Messages between the parties at the time showed a snapshot of the state of the relationship between Anthony and a particular woman. And so that put it into context in ways that can't be criticised or contradicted. In the trial, we had one woman who said, I wouldn't have even been hanging around with him unless it could do something for my career. Or, well, I just went along with all the sex things because I thought it would give me opportunities in my career. Another of the women had completely left out of her account having gone to Anthony's hotel room when in another city when they happened to be there together and writing affectionate messages after that. When asked about that, or whether she remembered it, she said, oh yes, that was the nicest thing I ever had, Anthony. And that post-dated the alleged dreadful sexual assault. So it just didn't make any sense.
Ms Cunneen stated profound concern for the rule of law in New South Wales if public opinion overrides judicial findings. She also raised concerns about the investigative process, suggesting police were touting for victims and lamenting the devastating impact the 6-year ordeal had on Lister's life despite his acquittal.
I've heard that there was one woman who wasn't even a complainant of any sexual assault, but who developed a disdain for Anthony for some other reason. And she contacted people and put out some posts almost inviting people to share with her their experiences. She tended to encourage them to think that they had needed some kind of victim. And that becomes quite a theme because then the police were encouraging people to have a booking. Sorry, it's a police station. Come forward if you've got something to say about this fellow. And when you're touting for victims, as they call them, complainants. I'm very worried about the rule of law in New South Wales if members of the public are prepared to consider someone still guilty after he has been found not to be by a court and properly constituted jury who has seen all the evidence. The process becomes the punishment, because after 6 years of being accused and having his liberty so severely curtailed, no passport, not allowed out, not allowed to attend his daughter's graduation, things like that. And not to mention the money. Now, I haven't been paid a cent. He had to go around and approach people and beg them to represent him.
Lister is now looking to the future, but the whole ordeal and his horror time in jail has changed him and his art forever.
It was scary, and he was coming for me. That wave was on its way to me, and if I hadn't on bail, I'd be dead. I'm sure of it, because they kill people like that.